For years, this question hung over the royal wedding like a shadow no one dared to name. Why was Meghan Markle's family almost entirely absent from the biggest day of her life? The world saw it. Insiders whispered about it, commentators tiptoed around it, but publicly, there was silence, especially from Prince Harry himself. Until now. Because according to sources close to him, Harry has finally begun to open up about the pressure behind those empty seats. Not in the dramatic tell-all fashion people might expect, but in the quiet, frustrated admissions he shared with those who know him best. He allegedly described the situation as far more complicated than anyone understands, hinting that what kept Meghan's family away wasn't drama, wasn't logistics, but a secret so sensitive even he didn't grasp its full weight until long after the wedding planning had begun. And every clue, every hesitation, every missing relative leads back to the same place, a single blank space on Meghan's family tree. That's where our story begins. Before Meghan stepped into the world's spotlight as a royal bride, there was a detail buried inside her genealogy. A detail small enough to miss, but powerful enough to unravel everything. When Meghan and Harry's engagement was announced, British newspapers followed tradition and published a full genealogical chart of the future Duchess. Page after page was neatly printed, listing names, birth dates, locations, the royal family's preferred order and respectability on display. But right where Doria Ragland's mother's name should be, there was nothing, just a void, a blank line, an empty space in a place that should never, under any circumstance, be empty. To most readers, it looked like a minor oversight, but to archivists, genealogists, and those familiar with how meticulous royal vetting is, the omission made no sense at all. A mother's name is the most basic element of any family tree. Its absence is not an error, it is a message. And that message was clear. Someone did not want that name printed. This blank was not isolated either. According to the records, the omission appeared in multiple documents across different sources in different formats, every single time dodging the same question. Who was Doria's mother? Why could no one, for decades, produce a name? And what kind of secret was buried deep enough that it would be safer to leave a line blank than to fill it with the truth? Because as the investigation continued, the empty space became more than a mystery, it became a warning. A warning that the story lying behind that missing name would eventually reach all the way to Windsor Castle and right into the heart of the royal wedding itself. Windsor Castle, May 2018. The world watched Meghan Markle glide down the aisle, a global symbol of modern royalty. But while millions focused on the dress, the vows, and the history being written, something far more telling was happening just a few feet away. On the bride's side of the chapel, an entire section stood empty, and in that silence sat one woman, Doria Ragland. No siblings beside her, no cousins tucked in behind her. Not even a distant relative filling out the row. Just Doria, alone. Positioned directly across from Queen Elizabeth II, her solitary presence was impossible to miss. It wasn't subtle, it wasn't ceremonial, it was stark. Those within the royal household felt the tension immediately. Sources say even the Queen was unsettled by the optics. A royal wedding is supposed to showcase unity, legacy, and the blending of two families. But here, half of that visual story was missing. It raised the unspoken question everyone felt but no one addressed. Where was Meghan's family? Because weddings, especially royal ones, don't happen without intention. Every seat, every camera angle, every attendee is carefully selected. And the idea that an entire side of the bride's bloodline would vanish from the biggest day of her life? That doesn't happen accidentally. According to sources familiar with the planning, the decision wasn't logistical. It wasn't a disagreement, it was calculated. A choice made out of fear. That too much visibility, too many relatives, too many conversations over champagne might expose a secret long buried beneath the Markle lineage.